Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Welcome back, everybody. You all have no idea the struggle that it took to get to this fucking recording.
It's been like 2 weeks in the making. 2 weeks that we've been trying to goddamn record.
We sat down. I was sitting at my computer. We were ready to go last week. And then I went to hit record on my recording software. And it said, no. It said, fuck you, actually.
I feel like all of the other struggles were like my fault. My life has been just like a struggle bus lately. I'm not gonna lie.
Evan also fell down the stairs on the
I
way.
did. That
that.
sucked. No, literally, I was trying to carry like my laundry, and I was wearing some nice thermal socks, and I stepped a little bit too like down the stair, and literally like I did the thing where like I didn't like fall on my back. I just kept sliding diagonal on my
That's the
feet.
worst.
And if we keep that first part, this is hilarious. Evan's computer ran out of space.
Hey guys, I have like 4 seasons of the show on my old ass laptop, and it is literally struggling. Even though Amanda 6 months ago told me to get an external hard drive, guess who didn't do that yet? Me.
You gotta get one of those, buddy.
But yes, I will be purchasing one after this episode. But hey guys, if anyone has any advice on how to fucking free your storage on your Mac, let me know, because I have no apps, no photos, no texts, but some reason my other is taking up all of my storage. So any help, thanks?
Yeah. But yeah, here we are. We're back again. We are recording this on November 27th. At this point, we have released the first episode of season 6. I didn't put out an episode this week that just passed because it was Thanksgiving week and I thought it was weird. So I'll put out one on tomorrow, Tuesday the 28th. And then it'll be another couple of weeks till we're caught up to this one.
Let's go!
I have something kind of silly to report. My younger brother is rewatching Shameless, and he told me over like while I was home for Thanksgiving break, and then he texted me today, and he was like, is your podcast on Apple? What's the name of it again? And I was like,
no!
Is this your older brother or your younger brother?
My younger brother. He's 19.
I love him.
I was like, okay, you can listen to it, but just know it's really embarrassing.
No, whenever I
like
tell
for
people
my
they're
brother
like
to listen to, I was like, we're crazy.
Whenever I tell people they're like about the podcast, I'm like, start after like season 3 because my quality gets better. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also like, I was genuinely crazy back then. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I love our humble beginnings.
And, like, I always like think about it. I'm like, oh, this silly little podcast we do, and I was like, it's been 3 years.
Yeah. It's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years.
Literally 3 years. Like 3 years this January for me at least, being like a regular.
Yeah. Like that's crazy.
I love this for us. This is so fun. And then I think
insane.
I think this is our first recording post strike.
Is it?
I think so.
It was either that or
one
they
of them.
had
Because who signed BAFTA?
SAG.
SAG signed
BAFTA.
first. I think we recorded after. Shut up. I think SAG signed first.
Well,
and then...
it's SAG-AFTRA.
Okay, and then my recording stopped. We should probably
welcome to the
the
most dysfunctional podcast on the internet right now. Thanks to all who stick around.
We're fighting through it.
I want to say thank you to everyone for the feedback since posting the first episode of season 6. We got so many people reaching out to us, just being like, "We missed you," and like, guys, we missed you too. We promise.
It was like we were holding because of the strike. I swear. Like
I know.
Yeah.
We didn't forget. I promise.
It was really nice to see at least a couple of people be like, "Oh my god, I was waiting for this." I'm like, "Yes."
Hey guys.
But this is The Luck We Had, a shameless recap podcast. Woohoo! And this is, we're into season 4 still. We're season 6.
Season 6! Oh my goodness,
Good Lord.
Amanda.
Season 6, episode 4. Going once, going twice. Also, hi, I'm Amanda. I'm one of the hosts.
Hi, I'm Evan. You know me.
I'm Dana, by the way. In case you can't.
But yeah, we were just talking about television because we could talk about television now. I watched a very weird Jeremy Allen White movie called Fingernails. It ends the way most indie movies end, which is frustrating and stupid and making you want to scream.
Are you guys gonna see Iron Claw?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not in theaters.
Yeah.
I'll probably maybe at home.
Yeah.
I watch 3 movies a week at least because I'm in 3 different film classes right now. So
Yeah.
I'm
And
sometimes
you're movied out.
You're kidding.
Lena!
Oh my god. Are we cursed?
No!
Are we actually cursed?
Why did that just happen? It literally quit me out, and it was like power saver, and I was like, huh? My battery's not even close to being dead. That's crazy.
What the fuck?
I'm a little movied out sometimes by the time I'm like done with my movies for the week for school. If you want to know what movies I'm watching for school, I log them on Letterboxd like every time.
That's awesome.
Nice.
But I've been severely lacking in my TV.
Anything you liked out of your school films recently?
I watched The Band's Visit, like the movie that inspired the musical, which is really good. I watched earlier this semester. We watched Al Pacino in Cruising, where he plays an undercover gay cop.
Yeah.
That was really cool because it was also about murder. Murder. That's a hard one. Yeah, I don't know. I could probably come up with other ones, but I mean, my favorite movie this semester was probably A Serious Man, the Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
That one's kind of controversial, but I watched it and I was like, it resonates.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought those were my movie picks for the semester.
Nice.
I was just saying I'm watching Matt Bomer's Fellow Travelers, which is fucking awesome. I'm also, it's the Doctor Who specials, David Tennant Doctor Who.
Oh,
I saw something.
You know what movie I saw?
What?
The Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I also saw that.
Did you like it?
I also saw that.
I had fun.
Okay,
I had critiques, but I had fun.
It was so long, but for some reason I saw some article saying it was like 2 hours and it was like over 2 hours or something. And
it was
so
like
I went in
50 minutes.
I know. I saw some article or something saying it was like 2.5. So I went in expecting it to be that long. And then when it ended after 150, I was like, oh, okay. Like, weird. But I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like my whole thing is just
I laughed.
I went into it just not saying like I'm not like a big fan of the franchise. I just like grew up watching like Matt Pat, like Game Theory. I grew up with like fucking Markiplier. Like I'm not an idiot. I'm a child from the internet. I know about this game. And then also you have the renaissance of Josh Hutcherson. So of course I'm gonna go see Homeboy on the big screen for the first time in like a million years.
Well, I feel like this is his like renaissance. I'm surprised that they couldn't get Markiplier for a cameo.
No, they did. He's filming his movie Iron Lung at the same time, so they had scheduling conflicts. That's why you got Matt Pat and the cab driver was a streamer or like a gamer.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I knew Matt Pat, but I didn't know the other person.
But yeah, no. So Markiplier, he literally did make a post like right before the movie came out. He was like, "Hey, like, just gonna say like I'm not in it. Like, I don't want to have you guys think I'm like playing up to like, oh my god, no, I'm not in it. Like, you just have to go see the movie." He said it was scheduling conflicts because he was filming that movie, that Iron Lung, which is
because he like
wrote a video game.
Like, writing, directing, starring, whatever. Yeah.
So that was just that conflict. But my whole thing is just like that game is so crazy that of course they're not going to be able to fit 6 games and like 1 million hours of lore into it. So I was like, y'all can't go into it mad about that. Second of all, they had to keep it PG-13 because if you want the people who enjoy the game to be able to see your movie, of course it's going to be PG. So it can't be like a murder fest, even though that's what the game is. The game is for children. And then third, I was just like, my own personal critique is just like, focus too much on the other characters. I was just like, go into a FNAF movie, you want to know about the characters, but like they've relied too hard on like Josh Hutcherson's character Mike and his family's lore that I was just like bored. Where are the animatronics? Where's Bonnie? Where's Foxy? But I had fun. I thought it was great.
I had fun.
I did not see it. Zoe saw it. I know she liked it because
your boy Matthew's in it. Yeah, so what to say.
I know. He ate it up. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but what he did have,
everything happening was because of him, so that made him more like important than just like a minute total of screen time.
Yeah.
Also, such a shame that he absolutely definitely won't be in Scream 7 because there's no fucking way Scream 7's even going to happen at this point.
Yeah, dude, the fact that was it Melissa is the one girl's name?
Melissa was posting pro-Palestine stuff, and so they fired her for being against a genocide. Crazy.
And then Jenna
Ortega dropped it, and they said, oh, it was scheduling conflicts because of Wednesday. There is no script and no production date set for Scream 7. So how could it conflict with Wednesday when there's no production date set?
Did you guys see that one TikTok? It was just like, wow, guys, I can't believe us as Scream have been able to, like, survive forever because of the meta of the franchise. There's nothing that can happen to us, right, guys? And then it's just like, and he's like, what is it? And he's like, oh, no, it's nothing. And then, yeah, I was just like, damn.
I do want to see Miss Courtney Cox posting in solidarity with her castmates. That would be fucking dope.
That's crazy. And then you have
Like,
fucking Noah
well-
Schnapp over here thinking Zionism is sexy.
Yeah, Zionism. And that's the crazy thing too, is like I'm taking Judaic film studies right now, and our whole unit is about the aftermath of World War II and the mass migration to Palestine and the establishment of Israel. And we watched like a bunch of propaganda films, and I don't know, it's just like it's a really weird environment to be in because it's like majority Jewish students. And so it's like we're seeing all this real-time evidence of like propaganda from the Israeli state, and like all this propaganda going back years and years. We watched this movie called Salah Shabati, which has the dad from Fiddler on the Roof in it. Fiddler on the Roof. And it's like weird just to see how deep it goes, because I mean, like, I grew up Jewish. I get into a lot of fights with like my family and stuff about this. Thanksgiving was weird for that. But it's weird to see how deep, not like indoctrination, but the sort of like idea
The
that
grooming of just what it
yeah,
should
that
have
you're
been.
like you're connected spiritually or ancestrally, when that's not necessarily the case for a lot of people, especially like a lot of Jews in America are Ashkenazi. So
Are you talking
it's
about like people's like heritage and how like the disconnect with that is what
yeah,
you mean?
so it's like even if you're, so it's like, okay, it is like kind of complicated because the whole idea is like, even if you trace your lineage back like way back, everybody comes from like that area, like Israel. But when you're like 100% Ashkenazi Jew, that's a little complicated because that's literally 100% Eastern European.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird to see like I don't know, this sort of like birthright that they instill in you because of the, you know, there's the whole like birthright trip and like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's weird. I do have like some
Broad City did a really good like birthright trip episode.
Well,
in
'cause
which they were like,
basically-
hey, Israel's kind of super fucked up, isn't it?
well, and basically what birthright is like a dating service. Like
Yeah.
they want, because the whole point is they want you to meet someone and fall in love on this trip so that you continue the Jewish bloodline. And that's like kind of fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah.
But I can
that
like
probably started out of necessity because of World War II, but like
Right.
then in the continuing light, it's like, wait a minute.
Well, but that movie, the Salah Shabati, was so interesting because it showed inter-Jewish conflict and like inter-Jewish racism, because it was all about like Salah Shabati and his family, who are Mizrahi Jews from like North Africa, or no, they were Sephardic Jews from North Africa, immigrating up to Israel at the same time that all of the Ashkenazi Jews after World War II were immigrating and like establishing Israel as a state. And there was like racism or like prejudice against Sephardic Jews, even though the whole point of the state was like, we're all aligned under Jewish heritage. There was still like
That's crazy.
discrimination against these Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews, which are like the ones from the Middle Eastern area. So it was like, but then it's weird because it's like you can't even categorize people into like Sephardic and Mizrahi because like those kind of overlap too. It was really, really interesting to learn about, but I'm like, I wish it was something that we brought into like current conversation where it's like, this has kind of always been a thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I'm just trying to pivot. Yeah, it is super fucked up to fire the lead of your franchise for saying, hey, genocide is bad,
Hey,
actually.
this like kind of sucks and shouldn't happen. And they go, maybe you shouldn't have a career. What?
Yeah.
Well, because they're like, you shouldn't call it genocide, or they're like, for calling out the government, you're being anti-Semitic. And it's like, I thought I thought we supported the separation of church and state. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't.
There's
like,
so many
it's
other crazy celebrities who have had so many crazy takes that still have
Amy
a platform
Schumer.
and still get like
Fucking
projects
Amy
and
Schumer.
stuff.
Sarah Silverman got to host The Daily Show.
I feel like Melissa didn't even like make her own constructive post. I think she just was reposting.
She posted like an
things.
infographic to her story or something.
Yeah,
and then
she
they were
posted
like,
someone else's post just bringing that subject to light, and then you
Yeah.
have fucking James from Big Time Rush with a press badge in Israel.
"Oh, I saw that."
That was
when,
crazy.
When like actual Palestinian journalists are being like targeted.
Yeah.
Killed.
And
It's
you have
like,
James
oh, okay.
with a fake press badge with some nice foundation on his blemish. Like, get out of my fucking face.
The weird thing is, like, because I obviously, like, my algorithm knows how I feel,
Yeah.
like, it pushes me. Obviously, I know this. Like, it pushes me content that supports that. So it was really, really weird to, like, go home and, like, my parents have, like, the news on or something, and to see, like, the propaganda that CNN is pushing. Because it is, like, it's all propaganda, but also a lot of it is, like, real firsthand ground footage.
Yeah, like what we are seeing on our phones is like people from Palestine posting, telling us what's happening in their day-to-day lives, and the CNN is like, so anyway, here's the broad strokes of
they're like
everything."
so
Yeah.
we sent an anchor to shadow the IDF, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, obviously they're going to do some like when they went into the basement and they were like, these are names of operatives, and then it was
And I saw that they were like, these are
calendar.
days of the week.
Yeah.
like, it was like, okay. Well, it's also just crazy because it's like you live in such close quarters with these people, and not that I'm expecting you to like know their language because it's a completely different alphabet, but it's like you don't know like basics, and you guys live
Yeah.
within 200 square feet of each other.
Yeah. You
Anyways, it's so
yeah.
fucked right now. It's so much
It is.
propaganda. And
It is a shame that the Scream franchise is over now. That sucks. But the sixth movie was a good one to end on. Yeah.
Pretty good cast, I heard. Mason
Yeah.
Gooding.
It was like Scream 6 fucking rocked. Like it was so
Did you
good.
not see it, Lena?
Yeah.
I've only seen the first Scream movie. I've
You
only seen
gotta
I've only
watch
seen
the
the first one.
rest.
No, but like here's the silly thing is that like I haven't seen like the third, the fourth.
Okay,
third
but
and
like
the fourth, but I've
the
seen
middle
the
is
fifth
like
and the
whatever.
sixth.
Like that's
No,
okay.
no,
I'm like,
I will fight. The second and the third one are
Which
fucking
one's
amazing.
Emma Roberts
That's
and
how
the
I feel-
Culkin? The fourth is the Culkin.
Yeah.
is it Rory Culkin?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Kieran.
Yes.
That's sort of how I feel about Saw. Like I'm like I've seen Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've like seen 5, 6, and 7 and 8, but I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care. And then I've seen Spiral, which sucked, and I haven't seen Saw 10 yet. But Saw 10 is almost like it's like a weird
It's a
prequel
prequel.
sequel.
It's between
it's between one and
between
two.
1 and 2. Yeah.
So it's like, but I'm like I haven't seen it
because
yet.
before John, is it Kramer?
Yeah, it's before John Kramer like does the
Dies,
whole
because
house
that-
thing. Yeah, because that happens in the second one, sort of.
Is that with like the doctor lady who like cuts his head open?
That's the third one, but he gets very sick at the end of the second one. Like the second one kind of leads into the third one.
Anyways, this is a show about Shameless.
I was thinking of, speaking of doctors and houses. So when we posted 601, I listened to it as I listened to all of them. But it's been so long since we recorded it. We recorded that in July, by the way.
Was I moving?
That's crazy.
I think so, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
moving too.
I definitely had like just moved in or something.
But you guys it was when we were first meeting Giannis. And you guys are like, Amanda, you don't even know. You don't even know what's about to happen. And anyway, let's get to this fucking episode.
Let's go! Snaps all around.
It's
What a
episode 604
crazy-
going once, going twice.
Let me just make sure I'm recording. I am.
Oh my god, not again. Okay, let's start this at 8:30. We just sat down at 7:45, right? Great.
I'm
Amazing.
supposed to go to get drinks after this, so let's go.
Okay. It aired on January 31st, 2016.
Crazy.
That was a clean 7 years ago. Definitely when this episode is going to be posted. Clean 7 years ago. Woof. Different world 7 years ago.
No, seriously. Well, I'm like 2016. We all know what happened.
Yep. And this episode was written by Davey
Oh,
Holmes.
wait, that took me a second. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. This is the 6th of 7 episodes Davey writes. He's got one left. He did 308, Where There's a Will, 405, There's the Rub, 401, Liver I Hardly Know Her, 504, A Night to Remember, wait, what? 511, Drugs Actually. This one, and 609, A Yurt of One's Own.
Banger, 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 banger. he can't help it.
Lena, what's 609?
A Yurt of One's Own. Debbie and Queenie.
Oh, when they go to that place.
Spoilies.
Also, he was writer on In Treatment, Get Shorty, Pushing Daisies. He stays busy. This episode was directed by Christopher Chucklack. This is his 6th of 11 episodes he directs. He did 410, Liver I Hardly Know Her.
It's a cursed episode 666.
Yep.
No way.
And he has previously
So
worked
is
with
this
Davey
episode.
on that Liver I Hardly Know Her. And then he did 501, Milk of the Gods, 509, Carl's for Sentencing, 512, Love Songs in the Key of Gallagher. Boo, hiss, fuck you, 512.
Well directed episode though. I'll give him that one.
601, I Only Miss Her When I'm Breathing. This one, and he does 612, Familia Supra Galaglorious. And then he does 701, Higher 705, Own Your Shit, 709, Ouroboros. And then the series finale, Father Frank Full of Grace.
With the exception of the finale. With the
That's
exception
crazy.
of the finale. Banger, 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 banger.
The fact that he disappeared for 3 seasons is crazy.
Yeah.
And because John Wells couldn't come back to do the finale or didn't want to come back to do the finale, they were like, you know who we should call? I feel like, not gonna lie, they should have let Bill Macy direct the finale.
Yep.
That would have been cool.
Maybe he wouldn't have been flying up in space if he had.
He probably would have. He probably would have ate that up. He probably been like, that's a really good idea.
I don't know. His vibe of directing doesn't like stand out to me, but like, does his finale do anything for us? Like, I don't know. I didn't feel
no, because that was when they kind of started to shoot like sitcom style. Like it felt
and
so
that green
flat
screen,
after that.
That green screen did not help season 6 at all because they weren't filming on location. I literally would be watching it and I'd tune out because the background was just literally like a blur of like orange and green.
Right. Well, okay. The weird thing about like season 11 specifically is like I know they couldn't shoot on location because of COVID, but even scenes in the house felt really flat. Like just 2D when it's the same set they've been using for the past 11 years.
The lighting was bad.
It was just weird. Like I felt like, I don't know. It was just strange. But like that, like before, I would even say season 10 kind of has a similar feel, but not even all the way through. Like season 10 has its moments where it's like, oh, this is a program.
It's like right after like Mickey and Ian get like married, and then it just, because they're not the focus points, it seems just like they're like, what do we do with the other characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time, I kind of wish that Galovich was the series finale. Like, all the time.
Well, it would have been such a fitting, like, wrap-up. Well, except, okay, if they had changed it so that, like, everybody else's storylines weren't really breaking down. Because, like, everybody else was, like, up in the air, like, somehow, some way. Like, Lip and Tammy were
so does the
breaking
series
up.
finale. So does nobody has
That's
a conclusive
true.
ending in the series finale.
That's
literally,
true.
like, so dissatisfied with that series ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend just watched it through for the first time.
I mean, I get that they probably felt like they were like, Frank has to die. Like, that's just what has to happen. But it's like, I don't know. It kind of would work if he didn't. Dementia, like, and the dementia storyline, like, alcoholism, dementia was kind of promising until it wasn't.
Like, it struck a nerve, and then all of a sudden I was just like, I don't care anymore.
It would have so benefited from, like, okay, honestly, once they found out that Emmy was leaving, they should have just been like, okay, we're doing that storyline now, and we get to have, like, Fiona's reaction to it, because I feel like it would have been much more hard-hitting for me.
I also really would have liked Frank dying surrounded by the family. Like, I know him dying on his own was like because they were like, it's COVID, like, whatever.
He died like holding a nurse's hand who he called Fiona.
I feel like it would have been such a powerful thing in this show for at the end them all to like rally around him. I don't know.
Which they sort of did, except they didn't, because it was like it was Ian and Mickey's anniversary party, and then they were like, Frank's probably alive somewhere, because he did get up and leave after ODing, but like even when he OD'd, no one gave a fuck. And I get that it's like that they're like, oh, he does this all the time, like he's gonna wake up. It's like, and no one gave a fuck.
Yeah, Liam was the only person that was like, anyone see Frank? And then you panned at watching him fucking die in the hospital.
Well, it's all like, let's be for real. How long has it been since the last time he OD'd like that? You guys should be a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because Liam was scared. It's like, he's probably never, like, it probably hasn't happened since he's been conscious.
Anyways.
That's the series finale, but this is 604. The synopsis of this episode is Fiona confronts Patrick about the eviction notice that they'd just been served, but her only choice is to get a mortgage from the bank and bid on the house at auction. Ian bakes cookies for the firehouse, and discovers he was saved by a shift of gay firemen. Oh, God.
I was talking with my roommate about this. I was like, no, Ian needed another boyfriend, like, in between him and Mickey getting back together, because he needed to, like, it needed to be confirmed for him that, like, that was the right choice. I know, but that's just because Noah was done for so long. But I'm like, why did both of his boyfriends have to be kind of annoying?
Yeah.
No, they were literally assholes, and they both turned
on him. But then I'm like, wait, Mickey is literally the most annoying ever.
No, my favorite thing is, I don't want to spoil it, because it's like a kind of like a funny
don't spoil
scene.
anything.
Okay, no, wait. Okay, I'll just text Lena about this scene.
The previously on in this episode was done by Frank and one of the people living in the backyard. And previously on Shameless, Carl is selling guns at school. The Alibi got voted the shittiest bar on the South Side. Debbie's pregnant, and so is Fiona. Fiona's getting an abortion. Debbie isn't. Fiona says then Debbie is not getting her support. Kev cut the wrong line on Giannis's bike and paralyzed him. There's a family renting the Gallagher's backyard. The Gallaghers are getting evicted. Ian saves somebody from a fiery car wreck. That's a lot of previously on.
Damn.
And then we get the title credits. And then we start with Fiona trying to get a hold of Patrick, which, if we all remember, is the man who owns the house. Carl once poisoned him with rat poison.
He's also their cousin.
He's their cousin. They accused him of trying to molest Debbie and blackmailed him into giving them low rent on the house. That's the whole background on Patrick Gallagher.
Oh, also, well, okay, he owns the house. The agreement that they had was that they would pay him like $500 in rent every month.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to take care of like the mortgage payments or whatever.
Fiona is trying to get a hold of him to figure out what the fuck the eviction notice is about, since they pay the rent. Meanwhile, Ian is baking cookies for the firehouse. That was me in the kitchen this morning.
And sorry, it took me a long time to type that. I don't know why.
Well, it's also like, Amanda, you're not going to be happy, but it's fine.
No.
Okay.
He's hot, though, so it's the only thing that matters.
Also, it turns out, I think I previously said it's a Mexican family in the backyard. It's a Honduran family in the backyard that Ian tries to borrow some flour from. Yes.
Why are they there again?
They're renting the backyard.
Frank let them live there because they got
I was like, why did
kicked
I
out.
forget? Yeah.
And Ian's like, maybe they'll have flour. Yeah, probably. Lip thinks Ian is pissed at him because of the fist fight they got into at school.
Nah, they just do like that.
But let's like get over it. You're such a baby. And it's like, you guys didn't even talk about it. It's also like the next day.
Yeah.
I love how like Lip is home too. Like, go back to school. Why are you home?
He's visiting. Well, he's visiting because he knows Ian's mad at him.
Lip is Sean offers to drive Fiona to Patrick's, but she tells him, you don't have to get involved. But Sean loves to get involved. And Lip is apparently going on a trip with his professor, also known as the woman he's fucking.
Like a little conference call for her. Yeah. I forget what does she do?
She's like giving a speech.
She's
what type of teacher is she?
She's humanities. I really don't think she's STEM.
I think it's a women's studies.
Yeah, she's like women and gender studies or something. Yeah, she's definitely like an English or like theory type. She's not like a science.
Yeah. I didn't assume she was. I knew she was like more literature, but I didn't know like what her class was.
I don't think her husband is either. I feel like he's like psych or something.
Yeah. Over to Debbie and Frank at the clinic where he is trying to give
a medical doctor.
Yeah, remember because he brings the broken leg kid and he's like, your husband's a doctor, he can fix him, and she's like, yeah, no. Oh no,
she's like, yeah, a doctor of whatever, something.
Sorry,
else,
never mind. I thought too early in the scene. Anyways.
Over to Debbie and Frank at the clinic where he's trying to give her parenting advice. She says she's going to get a part-time job to pay for her own place. And Frank is honestly very real with her about how unrealistic that is. He's
like girl, you're going to need 2 full-time jobs.
Even though Frank, during him and Debbie's whole, thing this episode, it's like them two. Like, there's pretty scene stealers, I would say, in this episode. I
think Emma and Bill have good chemistry.
Yeah, when he's being her dad, I love that. It's I love seeing Frank, even though he says the most fucked up shit ever. I love their chemistry because they've always been the most father and daughter out of all of them.
The clip of Fiona talking to Debbie where she says Frank is on your side and you should be scared. That came up on my Instagram today or the other day, and I was like such a good scene.
So Frank tells her, is if you're going to be on your own, you need a fucking sugar daddy, actually. You need a man to take care... Well, that's annoying. He's but you need a rich man to take care of you.
But it's Frank, so that makes sense for him to say that shit.
Yeah.
He wants a man to take care of him, and he has, and he will.
The doctor shows her the baby on the ultrasound, and she and Frank do seem to have a little moment when they see little baby for the first time.
Frank melts. He's well,
because he's my
Gallagher.
first grandkid.
Yeah.
And no, he goes, and then Debbie goes, "What about Chucky?" And he goes, "Oh."
Over to school, Carl has gotten his crush a pink mink coat, and she says, "Yeah, thanks, but no thanks," and blows him off. Dominique. Jumping to Fiona, who is crashing Patrick at his job. Apparently, he took out a loan of $60,000 on the house, didn't pay it back, and now the bank is foreclosing on the house.
That's actually kind of funny for him to do that.
Well, it's I didn't have to pay that off. He definitely thought of it and was wait, no loss.
Use that
for
as
me.
collateral.
No L,
yeah. He doesn't give a shit. He will let them rot. He doesn't fucking care.
I hate Patrick, but just how unbothered he is so funny.
They could low-key sue him or something, but it would just rack up more in legal fees than it would be worth finding another house.
He says fuck the house and fuck their con artist deadbeat family, and Sean, who went with her, is in Patrick's face, stands up for Fiona, and then pulls her out when the fight isn't worth it. It's
But Patrick, not to be that bitch, he also was kind of right. He was just you guys pay me late every month, and sometimes it's not even the full amount. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, real. But it's also for him to be your con artist family. It's what about you?
Not team landlord.
Look in the mirror.
Team realistic.
As of this episode, I am squarely team Sean. I love Sean.
Love you, Dermot Mulroney.
He was good when he was good.
He was hot the whole time.
And then we go to the alibi. It's empty inside. The regulars stopped coming because it's a hipster bar now. But there are now also no hipsters inside. And V and Svetlana are plating tapas because the hipsters like tapas.
I love the way Svetlana says it. She's like, tapas, try it. It's like squid, right? Or octopus.
No, it's just small plates. It's just
yeah.
No, she says the dish is octopus because I think Kermit's what is that? And she's like, octopus.
But tapas as a concept is just basically it costs as much as an entree, but it's the size of an appetizer.
There's a restaurant by me called Tapas, and it's so good, but oh my god, it's so expensive.
Well, because they're you should order 3 or 4 for the table,
still
and then each one is I've been to one where it was $30 each, and I was huh?
Mine are pretty cheap. Mine range from $7 to $15.
Huh.
Guess you gotta come to Be More, guys. Take it to Tapas.
We join Ian. He's bringing a plate of cookies to the firefighter who saved his life. And the firefighter Ian talks to asks, was it Tuesday? And he is like, yeah. And he says, you're looking for the hose pullers, the gay firemen. They're all on one shift. Chicago, Fire Island.
So good. It's so
Ian
funny.
contemplating suicide on a casual Tuesday.
Is there any other day? Is there any better day?
Tuesday, midday, no less.
Yeah. Ian does give the guy the plate of cookies.
I know, because he doesn't offer them, and the guy's
I remember. Doesn't he kind of look at him and he's like,
yeah.
Yeah. He hesitates for a second.
Holds his hands out, and I remember he raises his eyebrows because he looks kind of silly. He's like,
gonna give me those cookies? Back at the Gallagher house, Frank is bringing in a massively old man to meet Debbie, and the man touches Debbie's hair and gets all creepy about it.
Is that the one when he holds the thing up to his neck?
the hole in
he
his...
does the RoboCop thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, she goes, Leia, I am your father.
Frank says the guy has a 2-bedroom apartment with rent control and a nice car. He'd be a good setup for Debbie, and he's close to the grave, so it wouldn't even be for that long.
So fucked up.
But
So
she
fucked up. But he's kind of right. Weirdly, it's like...
She calls Frank out for being out of his fucking mind about this and leaves. And then at work, Fiona says that since she got pregnant, the smell of bacon fully makes her sick. And there's only 2 more days until her appointment. She says, quote, unless you want to punch me in the stomach and get it over with.
She makes those comments so much, and Sean looks like he's about to cry, like, every single time. Because he's like, stop it.
He's like, why are we doing that? Let's not.
Because obviously he's
like
not
that.
against it, but, like, he's just like, stop, please. Because she makes multiple of those jokes.
And he basically would like her to stop those. And then he asks, he said we could try to talk to the bank about taking over the mortgage payment. And she's like, well, that's actually a very helpful idea. And he says, I am a naturally helpful person. She's like, must be tiring. He's like, it's utterly exhausting. They're charming. And
Times when you can tell that the show was written by British people.
Yeah. Oh, they're just so damn charming, and I love them. And then we join Lip walking into a hotel with Helene. We find out she was on the synchronized swimming team in college. This scene is ultimately pointless. It just shows you that they have arrived at their hotel.
Well, it's
Where's
weird because it's like in Indiana.
Is that like a stay over? Did
Did
they drive there?
It's a stay over from Illinois. Yeah, it's one state to the right. It's
Okay.
between Illinois and Ohio.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't go north.
You don't touch the Midwest, yeah.
Nah. I'm an East Coast
Midwest
baby.
girl for life.
I'm an East Coast boy.
Back to Carl, who is helping Nick shop for a bike. And while they're shopping, Carl has a daydream about getting a convertible to impress Dominique.
That scene is so funny because Liam's in that scene, like, pimped out too.
And he says to Nick, hey, yo, after we get this bike, how about we buy a motherfucking car?
No, literally, homeboy, like 16, no license. Like,
He's David Dobrik money. He's a YouTuber with money and no supervision. He's out of his mind.
get a Tesla.
And then Lip and Helene are getting settled into their hotel room. She's excited about being able to show him off, about being able to show off at the conference that she's scheduled to speak at. And she starts giving her speech about Simone de Beauvoir while Lip starts to dick her down.
Let's
Intellectuals, for real. What's that thing where it's like you're attracted to smart people? What's the word for that? Sapiosexual?
Oh, I don't know. I'm attracted to dumb people.
Sounds right to me.
I know I don't
I'm
have that.
attracted to dumb people, he says.
Something like that. It's like sapiosexuals be like, well, now I have to look it up. Sapiosexual, sexually attracted to highly intelligent people. Sapiosexuals, for real.
At the bank, Fiona finds out there's
At
no
the
way
bank.
for her to assume the loan, but she can instead try to buy the house at the auction it's being placed into.
I like that bank guy. He's like one of the most respectful bankers they've dealt with in this whole show, and he's like on their side versus against them, like every other interaction they have with money.
Yeah. And Sean's like, buy the house, apply for a mortgage. You have a stable income now. Apparently, her credit isn't really in existence since she's never opened a credit card or taken out a loan. Hold up. Didn't Frank take out credit cards and loans in all of their names?
I think she was the only one he didn't do. I feel like they talked about it. I feel like I remember.
What season was that?
He was like, I didn't do it for you. And she was like, you did it for Liam, who's fucking 2 years old or something.
I think it was season 1 or 2. Like, it was early on. But I was like, I remember him doing this.
It was like the Monica shopping spree thing, right?
It was really early. It was really early, but I'm pretty sure she was the only one he didn't do. Because she was like, because he was like, well, I didn't mess with you. Because, like, you're like the head of the household or whatever.
You noticed.
She was like, and I feel like she was like, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
Like, all of these other kids have their credit ruined now.
Apparently, since she's never gotten a credit card, she's never taken out a loan. The banker's like, open up a credit card, take out $1,000 and pay it back right away. And you'll have amazing credit and you'll qualify for the loan. And she goes, hold on, I can get a loan, which like, so fucking for real. When I went to the bank and said, can I please have $15,000 for my car? And they said yes. I was like, excuse me.
I can't imagine
giving me
ever.
money.
I know. I can't imagine ever getting a loan.
Me neither. Yeah, I'm like, huh.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I think I'm like 1 year away from paying off my car. I'm really excited about it.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, so we settled that credit question I had. Great. We join Kev, who's eating his little Fruit Loops and watching TV while Giannis calls from him from outside. Giannis says, I need a favor. I need your help to kill the lawyer and his family, the lawyer that did this to me, because he thinks the lawyer down the block cut his brake line.
Well, he thinks it was
like
it was like the lesbians, right?
No, he thinks it was the lawyer because Kev
tells
convinced him it wasn't the lesbians.
Oh,
because he was like, stop being mad at them,
true.
And then Giannis is like, you know who I think it is?
Yeah.
Giannis is the one who's like, you know who it must be them? It must be those like fuckers down the street.
Yeah. I'm sure he made an anti-Semitic joke about the lawyer too. I'm sure he did.
Something or other.
And Kev says, hi, no, I'm not going to help you murder that man and his entire family. Actually, go take your pain meds and think happy thoughts and go away from me now. Thank you so much. And in the Gallagher backyard, Frank is bitching in Spanish. Frank is speaking Spanish about Debbie turning down the sugar daddy. And inside, Fiona is talking about the plan for the house. Like, Frank speaking Spanish is genuinely
It makes sense, though, because didn't he spend, like, 3 months in Mexico that one time?
But he, like, wasn't
Like, it makes so much sense. He's a worldly guy. Like, I don't know. He would pick up something like Spanish. Like, it's just, like, he just would know.
Just to communicate with people who can hook him up with stuff, too, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside, Fiona is talking about the plan for the house. She tells Ian and Carl about the loan and what they need to get it done. She's like, we need $3,500 for a down payment. And they start talking about how to scrape it together, who's got what they can pawn. And Carl just pulls out a wad of, he's like, you need 3 bands? Here's 3 bands. I'll just hand it to you. And she considers it and then doesn't take it. Babe, it's cash. She's like, it's dirty money. It's cash. It's cash.
Take it.
Just like, I don't understand. And
like,
Frank
it's definitely drug money, or he's doing guns now. I'm like, it's definitely gun money, but like, it's not like they're tracking those bills or anything.
It's to keep your house. Take it. Even Frank walks in and goes, we are Gallaghers. Take the money. What is wrong with you? And Fiona says no. And Carl walks away with a Frank now trailing behind him because he knows he's got $3,000 in his pocket. And Ian goes, I don't know why you bothered to call a family meeting. You make all the decisions anyway.
So real. He's so funny for that.
Yeah.
He's such a bitch.
And we love him
I don't know
for that.
why you bothered to call a family meeting.
You're right, Ian. You're right. And Fiona justifies not taking Carl's money because she doesn't want to make it seem like she's okay with him being a criminal. And Sean like sits with that and then he's like, have your boobs gotten bigger? Like he just like throws her off with a joke. And he's like, I can pull from my savings to help you. And she's like, no, this has to be a thing that I do. And then she goes, savings, huh? And he went, literally hundreds of dollars, you fucking gold digger.
Literally 8.
I love him. Like the crash with him is gonna hurt me so bad because I'm rooting for him. At the hotel, Lip is trying to figure out how the bidet works and is thrown off by it. Once again, rooting for Lip. I'm rooting for him so hard because when he does get the bidet working, he's like, oh, that's nice.
First time I tried a bidet, I made my friend hold my hand because I was so scared.
It's cold, bro.
I don't like it. I literally hate
cold.
it. Like,
it feels intrusive.
No, whenever like you're already using to the bathroom and then sometimes you get a little splash up. Oh my god, no, thank you. You think I want water there? No, thank you.
First time I made my friend hold my hand. That's so funny.
Because it was this girl I was friends with in high school, and
you got really nervous.
Her family are like friends in like middle school, and her family were like an Asian family, and so they had like all this like really dope stuff, and so like she was like, "Oh, by the way, we have a bidet," and I was like, I was like, no, thank you. No,
No, you're
thank
kidding.
you.
I don't need that in me.
No, literally.
Well, while he's trying to figure out the bidet, Fiona calls him about the loan, and he's like, if you go into my dorm room, there is a couple $100 behind the light socket, just stashed in there. You can have it. And she's like, okay, cool, thanks.
I like
And
that
then
scene, though, because he stands up and the bidet is, like, still spurting out of the toilet as he's, like, on the phone.
And Fiona hangs up and then finds the ring that she did not give back to her husband in the top drawer. And that's when she gets interrupted by a social worker and fucking Chucky standing in her living room.
Reveal.
And Fiona's like, hi, no offense, but can literally any fucking buddy else take him? Like, anybody else? Can he not be in my living room right now? And the social worker says because of the swastika his mother tattooed on his forehead. She's like, if we put him into the system, he is gonna get fucking killed. Like, he's gonna get killed. She's like, it's a majority non-white people in the system. They're gonna kill him.
Well, it's like, okay, guys, pay for that tattoo removal then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foster care.
Or do the ghetto version that Fiona does. She uses a magic marker to turn it into a box on his forehead. And she's like, okay, because I can't look at that.
A box.
And then doesn't she go? She goes, Ian, would you please make our Nazi nephew some food,
lunch?
please?
Yeah.
Doesn't Ian just like give a thumbs up or something? He's like,
he just ushers.
or he's like,
Ushy.
come on, Chucky, like, bitch.
Yeah. Carl says Chucky's gonna get a shiv in his neck. And Fiona's like, please don't kill him. Please don't kill him. And then we join Frank at the hospital, still trolling for husbands for Debbie. And then we run into this motherfucker. The actor's name is Michael McMillan. I know him, first and foremost, from the Amanda Bynes classic television show, What I Like About You. He played Henry, her boyfriend. He was also the pastor turned gay vampire in True Blood. And he's one of the lucky ones to have been a regular on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He had the song Buzzing from the Bathroom.
I remember him. He was one of.
Not you
was he one of? Was
copying and
he?
pasting.
Was he one of me? Yeah, I did. Was he one of the lawyers?
Yes, the Buzzing from the Bathroom. That's him.
Yes. Okay, because for a second I thought he was the guy who played Pete in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Is that the character's name? The bi, her boss, the bi guy.
No, not him.
That's what I thought, and I was about to be like, he was a workaholics, but this guy wasn't.
No, it was the associate that was always wearing the suspenders with the tie, and he did the song about his wife's vibrator buzzing from the bathroom.
He was in Silicon Valley.
But he was in, did either of you ever watch What I Like About You, the Amanda Bynes television show?
No.
I didn't.
Oh God, it's amazing.
I didn't watch anything she did after Amanda show, really. I mean, I saw a couple of her movies, but he was in
Amanda
Fight Club.
Bynes means everything.
Oh wait, Fight Club, the video game.
Yeah. But he also, did you guys ever watch True Blood?
My parents did, and I wasn't allowed to watch that.
No, I'm looking at his Wikipedia right now.
He's so good in True Blood.
I need to.
He's like a crazy, like, Christian pastor who gets turned, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm gay. And he's just a gay vampire.
Oh,
like,
that's
it's
sweet.
awesome. So
I just,
good.
like, remember having vivid memories of, like, because that show was on when I was, like, a kid. Like, I was, like, a kid when that show was on. And
yeah.
I remember my parents when they would have, like, adult TV show time, like, we weren't allowed downstairs when they were watching True Blood. And I remember one time, like, walking down the scene where it's, like, a couple of these people had, like, all those bodies, like, hanging upside down and, like, cling film with, like, buckets underneath of them. And I was just like, ew!
The only pictures of him are from, like, over 10 years ago. What does he look like now?
He looks
Look
so
up
weird.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is the most recent from him.
He gives me, like, very uncanny
Oh, so he
valley.
just looks the same, actually, because it doesn't really look like he's aged that much.
No, he still looks good, and I love him. I love seeing his little face.
Guys
He's
who
so great.
were looking old in their 20s look the same in their 30s and 40s. That's like Noel Fisher. Who said that?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Well, it's
He
like
looked so old.
Steve Martin's hair went gray when he was 30, and now he's just looked the same for his entire life.
I remember thinking he was literally so old when I was a kid.
Yeah. Now I'm looking up pictures of Noel from 2023, and he's really scaring me.
Ooh. Anyway, It's from playing all of those cops. It made him old fast.
No, seriously, bro.
We were just so immersed in our conversation before we started. We didn't even do like a cast check-in. Like, they all went to
nothing. I haven't seen anything.
No, they all went to fucking Bill's whiskey release party like 2 weeks ago. Like
I didn't see that.
Really? You guys didn't? Like,
No.
they all posted like a couple days after. Like, Noel was there, Cameron was there, Emma was there, Ethan was there, Shanola and Steve. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I did
had like
see
a whiskey that he made that just came out, so they all went to like the whiskey release, and there was like this really cute video that Emma posted of him like singing his ukulele.
Bryan Cranston core. And
she made
his
like
tequila.
this post. She was like, I have like such lovely memories of like being a kid growing up with Bill with his like ukulele on set, and I was like, that's so sweet. How did you guys not see that?
I just didn't. I guess I did see that like Cameron, Ethan, and Emma were together on Halloween or around Halloween.
Yeah, there's like that TikTok.
And Ethan dressed up, I think, as Carmy from The Bear. I think as Jeremy.
That's so fun.
That's so funny.
I'm not gonna like. Hold on.
Are you from Emma's
you guys
TikTok,
keep talking.
right?
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture.
But
I also I was when I was doing my Doctor Who rewatch, I got to one of the Christmas episodes in like the 2014 season. Justin Chatwin is in an episode of Doctor Who.
What
I
the
totally
fuck?
forgot.
What
Yes,
a crossover!
He's totally dressed as Carmy in this because Emma dressed up as Kris Jenner.
Yes,
I don't even know
she
what
did.
Cameron was.
I don't know.
Was he
He's
Cowboy
rocking a
Bebop?
mullet right now, though. Oh, maybe.
I remember he was.
He's
did, like,
just
couple
wearing
costumes.
a suit. He's just wearing a suit, and he's rocking a mullet right now. But that's like
I think he might have been Cowboy Bebop.
interesting.
But but you know, I love this guy, Michael McMillan. I think he's great. And Frank is talking him up, clearly trying to get him as a husband for Debbie because he's younger, he's handsome. But the guy is here not for his own cancer, but for his wife who has cancer. And Frank still sees opportunity here, and he introduces himself as a cancer concierge, someone who helps the families of cancer patients. And he hands the guy a handwritten card, just handwritten, and it sounds like he's pitching Debbie as a nanny.
Which even then, even if you weren't trying to spin it into a sugar daddy thing, a live-in nanny would be a good gig for her. Especially because it's like, yeah, I'll take care of your kid while I take care of my kid. Like, I'm already taking care of a kid.
Yeah. No, I genuinely love this idea from Frank.
I had a thought during this episode and like the next episode too, when like how Frank is just like fucking chilling at a hospital for 2 episodes straight, and I'm like, isn't he a frequent flyer? Like, don't all these doctors and nurses know who he is and they're just letting him loiter around? But then I was like,
In the
maybe
emergency
he's in the
room.
cancer wing, so like he's not as noticeable, but like
He's also not seeking treatment or anything. He's literally
Yeah.
just hanging out.
But
So
at the
it's
same
like
time, like I feel like you can't just like let someone hang out in a hospital like that, and it's Frank of
Yeah.
all people. So I was just like, but then I always have to remember it's shameless. They don't care about
Shameless.
details that much.
No.
Anything that fits their plot.
And if it fits, it ships. Back to Ian. He's at the firehouse again, where all gay firefighters shift is happening, and he brings another plate of cookies.
Love the montage.
I
This
literally
sequence-
hate that goddamn montage. It's so unserious.
It is horny. It's just a horny montage.
They're like making a smoothie and lifting weights.
But also, it's like, well, I guess he never really got to be horny like that because he was always down bad all the time.
Yeah. But, like, it's just a horny montage that immediately cuts to Kevin. The pacing of this episode sucks. I hate it. And then Kev is hoping that Yanis doesn't mean it about lighting the lawyer's house on fire. And then he talks himself into Yanis. He's just a shit talker. He doesn't have follow through. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Well, he also kind of can't. He's like in a wheelchair, so it's like
He's literally paralyzed from like the neck down, but I think he has like he has to use like a straw to like push his cart.
He can use his hands.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Then Svetlana walks by on her way to her other job at a speakeasy, and she offers to introduce them to the owner of the place because the place is busy all the time and maybe she can give them tips. And then Kermit walks in and asks, "Who's getting topless?" And Svetlana says, "Not topless, tapas." And he says, "I still hear topless."
He's too funny.
And Kermit goes to leave when he finds out no one's going to be topless. And Kevin's like, wait, V, flash him. And Svetlana's like, ugh, strange little bald man, flashes her tits. Now go sit down and drink.
Love her.
Back to the firehouse. Ian thanks the man who saved his life and gives him cookies. The firefighter, named Jason, offers Ian a smoothie and introduces him to all the guys on the shift. And one of them is Caleb. And Caleb comes over and gives Ian the smoothie. Apparently, Caleb is also an artist.
Caleb wasn't workaholics. Who said that?
Who said that?
He did one episode. Who said that?
Well, Ian asks if he can visit Caleb's studio. And then the fire alarm goes off. Everyone gears up.
I forgot he was an artist.
Yeah. I'm already annoyed by him.
At least he's hot. Whatever. At least he's hot. It's what Ian deserves a little bit right now. It's like, he just needs a hot boyfriend. Whatever.
A good dicking. Yes. Back to Lip and Helene, heading into the conference. She's giving her speech when she's interrupted by someone who apparently has more information than Helene on the subject she is presenting. And she's thrown off by this person basically disproving her entire speech in like the first minute.
But it's like, sorry on her part. Like, it's like, I feel bad for you because you got owned in front of everybody, but it's like, if the information's wrong, the information's wrong.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like really, really new, recent information or something?
Last week. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you've been fucking your teenage boyfriend, so that's why you didn't know.
That'll do it. Over to Fiona and V. Fiona is pre-certified for a $100,000 loan. And Fiona gives Sean credit for giving her the idea, and V's like, yeah, he's just like Superman, except for the whole junkie thing. I love V as a best friend, because she's like, listen, I acknowledge that you like him, and that he's nice to you. And so I'm going to sit here and criticize him all the time, because that is what best friends do. I'm not going to talk you out of him. I'm simply going to shit talk him. And then they start talking about pawning the ring, and Fiona, because they still need the deposit. And Fiona does feel bad about it. She even tried to stay mad about the song, but it's a dead grandma Holocaust ring. And she said she got it appraised and it's worth $7,000. And V says, fuck Gus's dead grandma, get your house.
I disagree, but it's fine. I'm like, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. And it does blow up in her face. So
Yeah. Also, Gus could have tried harder to get the ring back. At the house, she shouldn't be pawning it. She should have returned it for the record.
But you're so right, though. Like, I agree with, like, that's definitely still something that you shouldn't have pawned. Like, that's kind of fucked up. But Homeboy's been gone for, like, a month at this point.
I mean, they saw each other and he didn't ask for the ring back.
Yeah, obviously he's not that bothered by it until he needs it to propose to his other fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
At the house, Carl shoos Chucky away from Nick and says that Nick is old enough to get his license. And Nick's like, I don't want to take a test. I just want my bike. And then we learn a little bit about Nick. He was a little boy who saved up his own money and bought himself a bike, and he had it for one day, and his junkie dad traded it for drugs. And he's just a nice young man who just wants his bike.
It's so bad. It's so bad for us. It's about to get so bad for us.
Don't we get more information on him?
Yeah, I think so.
Because we learned about why he was locked up. Because we learned why he was locked up, right?
Yeah, we do.
And the way he was telling the story and the way Carl was looking at him while he was telling the story, I was very worried that this was going to result in Carl taking Nick's bike. Like, I was very worried that it was going to go, like, really wrong in this episode. Yeah.
Not in this episode. It gets way worse. It's not Carl's fault. But I think what happens is, like, Fiona's worried about, like, because of Nick's, like, you know, his demeanor and stuff, just how he is. And Carl, like, was telling her, and he was like, do you know why he got locked up? Like, Carl tells Fiona the story, I think.
Okay.
Of why he got locked up.
I love him. He's a little sweetie pie. And right now I love him. And he just wants his
hard.
bike.
It's really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Is that next episode?
It might be, or it might be 2 from now.
Back to Fiona and V, who are trying to pawn the ring, but the guy only offers her $1,900 for it. She can't get him to budge. She's like, it's worth $7,000. And he's like, I'll give you $1,900. She's like, give me $6,000. And he's like, I will give you $1,900. And then she tries to walk out. Yeah, she like tries to walk out to like bluff him, and he still will only give her $1,900, and so she leaves. Meanwhile, Frank comes by with a job opportunity for Debbie, and she fights him on it, but he talks her into being the nanny for this family.
And has the family even agreed for the nanny at this point?
I think the dad did.
The dad did, but not the mom. Oh, I forgot how weird that goes.
Yeah, no, dude, it gets really fucking weird.
And then that's also why Debbie being a lesbian is really, really confusing later on.
Yeah. Wait, Amanda, there's no context for Amanda.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anyway, you don't need to know right now.
You'll see. You'll see.
Back at the conference, Helene is very drunk after being embarrassed in that way. And
I would be too, bitch.
And Lip is trying to get her back to her room. And I actually learned something in this scene. That they put mirrors in elevators to make you feel less closed in the elevator. Because Helene, drunk, is like, why do they put mirrors in elevators? And he's like, it's to make you feel less closed in. It's like, that makes so much sense, actually.
Wow, see, you learn new things watching Shameless, guys.
Which
is weird because everybody faces the door anyway in the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why they make those elevators where it's like you see you going up and can see the outside? Is that why they do that too?
Maybe, yeah, or maybe probably. It's just for aesthetic purposes, but I think it's more of just like a social awkwardness thing. Like no one wants to be like facing the wall. Yeah. Or like looking right directly at another person. Everybody just looks at the door.
She tries to get naughty in the elevator, but Lip is like, hey, why don't we wait till we get back up to the room? And then some more people get in the elevator, and Helene doesn't let up of like trying to fuck Lip in this elevator. And she even introduces herself to the people. Like, girl is going nuts.
I know, and they're also probably other scholars too. And I'm like, girl, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. And we cut away from that. V goes with Svet to the speakeasy that you get into by flushing a urinal.
So dope. I love speakeasies.
It's called the public bathroom.
So stupid, though.
And, like, the drinks, there's number 1 and number 2. And it's a yellow drink and a brown drink. Those are the drinks that you can get at the public bathroom.
I didn't even get that joke. I literally watched that. I've seen this episode probably so many times and I've never gotten that joke. I just thought it was like, oh, that's so smart to speakeasy, so they only have 2 options. No, I'm a fucking idiot.
It's pee and poop.
It's pee or poo poo. Poo poo, please.
And Svetlana introduces V to the owner, and the owner's like, oh, you know Svet? Svet's the best. She's rude and hard to understand. She's fucking irreplaceable.
But I love this because the bitch is on her phone the entire time. Like, V is trying to talk to her. She's just like, yeah, love her.
And V is talking about the perils of advertising a place to hipsters. And she basically learns, like, that the alibi is fucked. Because the owner's like, oh yeah, that alibi, that thing that was in the magazine. And she's like, yeah, that place was great. Right up until they put the banner up and started advertising it. Now it's fucking useless. No one's gonna go there.
Because V didn't disclose that it was her.
Well, it's like, it's now that you're like voted like shittiest bar in the South Side. Like, yippee. It's like, they're like, okay, so everyone's heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, also like, I love how V like doesn't disclose it's her bar. She's like, oh yeah, remember that place that like, the alibi? Crazy.
So the alibi's fucked. Moving on. Back home, Fiona and Sean brainstorm about coming up with the rest of the down payment for the loan. Sean offers to kick in the rest, and she actually takes him up on it. And Fiona
Which is crazy behavior, in my opinion.
That's a lot of money.
Well, she says that she'll pay him back, and he's like, yes, you will.
Yeah, true. She would. She'd be good for it.
She says if they don't get the house, at least the kids are older now. The first time this happened, Fiona was 10. And she jokes about her worst case scenario being that she moves in with Sean, and he looks spooked when she mentions moving in.
Girl, shut your damn mouth.
I feel like she was like joking. Yeah, she was. She was joking. And he's like, ha.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be really funny? Ha ha.
Wouldn't that be so funny? And then they try to play it off, and they cut away from it. And back at the conference, Helene is getting sick in the fancy toilet. And she said her book is fucked after that speech. And she thinks she's a cliche, a Mrs. Robinson who chases young guys.
She is.
She is, but Lip tells her she isn't.
But homegirl, you didn't research any new, like, documentations or research on your subject and then have the audacity to be mad someone called you out on it? Girl, you were unprepared.
I mean, like, she did all the research, but then, like, that new information came out that totally ruined her whole speech. But it's also, like, if something that damning comes out that
about
ruins your
something
entire...
Well,
that ruins your
you're that
entire
passionate
thesis,
about it.
at that point, I would just pull out... No. If it negates your entire thesis, I would just pull out of giving the speech.
Yeah.
I would just be like, okay, so my thesis is obviously wrong. Like, I'm not going to present something as fact when I know it's not.
Yeah.
But also, she didn't even know that like, information came out or whatever.
Because it's so funny because they say at Hopkins, and that's me.
No way.
They say over at Hopkins because it's Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's like a crazy medical college here. Or
Yeah.
like research college. Like they're insane. They have like they're known for like some of like the dopest like medical history.
Oh, yeah.
things ever.
Really famous hospital, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helene says to Lip, one day he is going to be with a girl his own age, and he's going to tell her about the older woman he was with and all of the things that she taught him.
Yeah, about
But then-
winning. Shut the fuck up.
there's that scene with Tammy where she tells him that she was like with a teacher, and he doesn't offer up his own story. Not in a way where it's like, oh, he's not right. But that's also because doesn't Tammy treat it like they were in a real relationship
dating,
when she was very obviously groomed because she was like 15 or something.
Yeah, she was in like high school, like junior, senior type situation. But Lip, like obviously not excusing like the age difference, but I was just like, there was a bit more maturity.
Yeah.
So Lip
a
probably
legal
personally
adult.
felt like that these situations are totally opposite because he was more conscious about his decisions versus
and also-
a child or something.
And
I
also
don't know.
Lip is a little like the double standard. No, just like the double standard because he's like, oh, well, you were a girl, so you got taken advantage of, but I'm a guy, so I can't get taken advantage of. But also he feels differently when that teacher who's in Succession moves in.
Yeah.
Like he disagrees, but then later on he kind of adopts that. Maybe it's just because it happened to him and not someone else, you know?
Well, and that teacher...
He wants to discount his own...
Well, the teacher that moved in down the block, the pedophile teacher.
That was like an 8th grader, right? She was dating an 8th grader or
Oh
something.
yeah, that Succession teacher. That's what you meant. Because I was like,
Well,
wait, what other character?
it's Willa from Succession.
Yeah, Willa. That's who it is. Duh.
She was taking advantage of kids, and he objected to that. Cash was taking advantage of Ian, and he objected to that. But like,
and he
Lip
felt like
is
he
a legal
was
adult.
right. So he was like, no, there's no power imbalance, but it's like, well,
There
she's a
still
professor.
is a power
and
dynamic.
Right. It's like she's older. She's also a professor. That's like
Yeah.
kind of the big thing. Other like outside of the age difference, like, and the thing that they actually get her for is like she is a professor and he's a student.
Yeah. She says that when they got together, she was looking for a fling, but that this is different. This is more. And then she pukes again.
Because she's like obsessed with that painting and him.
Yeah. Back at home, Carl is insta-stalking Dominique and like zooming in on her chest.
You couldn't zoom on in like that in Instagram back then. Can't
you could
zoom
not.
on the Instagrams like that. You can now, but not now.
Well, I'm like, I guess he just screenshotted and zoomed in.
Damn,
Maybe.
when you screenshot her Instagram posts.
The next morning, Debbie and Frank turn up to the family's house to interview as a nanny. And Frank has left out the wife dying of cancer part of the deal. And Lip wakes up alone in a hotel and with a note to meet Helene downstairs. She's embarrassed about how she acted and basically walks back the whole sweet conversation they had.
She's like, didn't say that. Don't think about what I said. I didn't mean that.
And she like gets up to go get coffee or something. And the concierge asks, do you and your mother need a taxi?
Ouch. Ouchie, ouchie, ouch.
Ugh.
Like, why would you... Like, I just feel like if you're in a service industry, you should never assume any... Like, you should just be like, do you and her?
Yeah.
Like, just don't even be like... Or, like, the one...
Do you
like,
too? Yeah.
You too? Like, it's like, why you and your mother? Like, don't assume. It's like, what if she's just some old lady I know? What if she was a mentor instead of, like, a girlfriend, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, oh, that's not... that's not mine.
Carl turns up like that. This scene feels like the end of them, but like I know it's shameless, so there's gonna be something else. Carl turns up to school to pick up Dominique, and he has a bike for her. And this is the moment that I was like, oh my god, did he take Nick's bike? Oh my god, oh no, did he take Nick's bike?
He wouldn't.
But he bought her own. Nick is standing there with his bike anyway. And he learned a sweet lesson from Nick's story of, like, not to do a flashy thing or do something stupid. He's like, let's be simple. Let's get her a bike. Like, he learned a sweet thing. It's nice.
Does she, like, got the receipt?
Yeah. And then she takes the bike and tells Carl not to ride too close. Back to Cancer Lady. Debbie is interviewing for the nanny position, and she and Frank are being very convincing. And the woman is very tired from the chemotherapy and goes to lay down. And Frank starts snooping around the house. That's when Debbie catches on that Frank is still trying to set her up with the dying woman's husband. And that is when our man gets home, and Debbie realizes, oh, he's young and handsome. Oh, this could work, actually. Can I help you with those groceries? And like, yay, I didn't know he was in Shameless, and now there's going to be a little bit more of him. That's fun.
I wonder if there are any other, like, people that pop up that Amanda's going to be like, oh my god!
Maybe.
You got 4 seasons of that, so probably.
I do know that Courtney Cox shows up at some point.
Yeah, that's a really
way
fun
later.
episode.
It's like season 9.
That's like season 9. Yeah.
And I do know that Katie Seagal shows up at some point. And
Who's
I
that?
love her. She was the mom in Sons of Anarchy. She was in...
Me and Lita immediately Googling.
She's in 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. She is from in Married with
She's
Children.
Leela on Futurama.
She is the voice of Leela
Oh
in
my
Futurama.
god! She plays the Frank. She has scenes with Frank.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's way later too.
She's fun. I like her. She's crazy, but she's fun. I love her husband.
If you've ever seen Sons of Anarchy, she's fucking amazing in Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, I know. But I was excited that we got Michael in this one. We jump to Fiona and Sean, who are getting ready to leave work and go to the house auction. He offers her a place to stay if they don't get the house. And she says, no, we should wait until we're both ready and not try to force it. And he says that when his ex moved in, there were things he was keeping from her, and that his sponsor says things should be different this time. And so Fiona goes, okay, what are you keeping from me? And he tells her, well, I went to prison in my 20s. I killed a guy. And she kind of laughs, and he's like, no, I killed a guy. I was drunk and high, got in a fight. The guy died because he smacked his head on the curb during the fight. And he went to prison for it. It was an accidental death, so obviously he didn't get, like, a murder sentence. But
right,
like,
it's like he didn't mean to. He was just fighting him. It's not like he meant to kill him.
Yeah.
But he did kill him.
Yeah.
Yep. And she takes that in, and she asks, is there anything else? And he says, nope, just the heroin and the killing a guy. Yep. Sure. For sure. Yeah.
But it's also like, well, you're not 20 now, I guess. You're
Yeah.
not in your 20s now. You're like fucking 50 or something.
And then this is the part where when I was listening to 601 and you guys were like, Amanda, you don't even know what's about to happen with Giannis. Then this scene happened.
It's
Yeah.
so silly.
Yeah, no, it was nothing you could have ever prepared for. Absolutely nothing you could have expected to happen.
Because he is zipping down the block with a lap full of Molotov cocktails. And he's about to light the first one up into the lawyer's house when Kev admits he was the one who cut the brake line. And he admits it was an accident, that he was just trying to keep the peace, and he's very sorry, and he feels relief. And then Giannis lights up the Molotov cocktail and drops it, because he's aiming for Kev, but he drops it in his lap with the rest of them, and his entire fucking body catches on fire.
And the wheelchair just spins.
And the wheelchair's just actively spinning while on fire.
Not funny. A little.
I didn't laugh. And then you have Kev from like 10 feet away going, trying to blow out the fire while going, help. What? Like, and then they killed him. He's gone. That's a wrap on Giannis. That's a wrap on Lemon.
There are several times where things just get so absurd in a TV show. I call it a Breaking Bad plane crash moment, because there's a plane crash in Breaking Bad, and I'm like, in Veep, when Selena walks through a glass door, that's a Breaking Bad plane crash moment. This is a Breaking Bad plane crash moment. There's a couple other ones where it's like...
It's Fonzie jumping the shark. It's a jump the shark
moment.
Well,
not even... Well, because, like, jumping the shark is, like, the show was trying to do, like, a big event episode or something. It's more of when, like, a normal episode is happening and then some, like, random fucking ass event will happen. And it'll be like, huh? But, like... Or, like, one that doesn't... I mean, I guess the plane crash did, but it's more like one that doesn't really change the course of the entire show. Where it's just, like... And you guys just put that in for fun? Or...
You just murdered Giannis like that?
Like, okay, for sure. That makes a lot of sense, huh?
And then right here in the last 2 minutes of the episode, we join the house auction. It's the last 2 fucking minutes. We're just getting around to the auction for the house. Someone gets it for $140,000 and they lose the house.
Which is, like, just over their budget, isn't it?
Because they started at, like, 100... Like, I think it started maybe,
they ended up getting, like, 112 or something.
Yeah, they put in for, like...
That was all they had. They had, like, 112 or something, 120. And then they were like... And then they were like, Fiona, bid. And she was like, we don't have it. Like, I don't... Like, I don't know what to tell you.
They do so many scenes of, like... all of them, like, going through, like, a torrential moment. Like, you've seen so many court scenes and just so many family scenes when it's just, like, the pan off of all of them, just, like, their faces just, like...
They're just like, we're fucked.
They're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't believe that in this entire episode, the last 2 fucking minutes of the episode...
That's why it's so good. That's why it's so good, because it's literally just, like, it just ends on that, and it's, like, the sorrow that you feel. Because I watched this live, and it was, like, for a week, it was like, well, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And that's the question that the writers always want you to ask. What are they gonna do? But it's for real. It's like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, we cut to the credits. That's it. That's the end of the episode. The credit song is Cold Creeps by Aljon. The after credit sequence is Giannis's
spinning wheelchair on fire.
Wheelchair coming to a slow stop.
Oh my god, that has to be one of the photos for the collage. Just flame Giannis.
And then next week on Shameless, Frank bonds with Cancer Wife, and the Gallaghers are getting kicked out, but not without a fight. Not if Carl has anything to say about it. And that's it. That's the episode.
Wow.
Amanda, how are you feeling?
I will say most of this episode was like, the pacing is annoying and okay, but like, we're building certain things, and what? Giannis is on fire? Giannis is on fire!
Like,
Giannis is on fire!
Breaking Bad plane crash moment. I definitely have a couple other ones that I've written down or like put on my serialized or whatever, where I'm like, this was a Breaking Bad plane crash moment to me.
But like, I don't know what they're gonna do about the house. I would prefer it if we forgot Chucky existed. I can't believe Chucky's back.
I actually don't totally remember what they do.
No, I
remember a little. I think I remember. I'll text and ask you.
Yeah, because I just like binge season 6 like the last like 2 weeks, just because like I can't like just watch one episode shameless. Like I just have to keep watching it. So I've already finished season 6 for my like rewatch. So like I have everything so fresh in my brain right now.
But like this sure was an episode. That gay firefighter storyline sure has begun. It sure has.
It's defo interesting. Is it next episode when Ian goes to the baseball game?
Yes.
I do know about the baseball game.
Oh yeah, because we've talked about this with you with fucking Tony.
Yeah. I do love a baseball game. That'll be fun. Oh god. So this was do you think this was a good episode? What do we think? How are we feeling? What are we thinking?
It was fine. I think it built a lot of important plot points.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I ever really thought this one was a banger was because of that last scene.
Yeah.
Like,
it definitely is not a filler. Like, it's a meaningful shit happens in this episode. But there are scenes that feel like filler.
Yeah. Definitely.
But, yup. That's what we're certainly 4 episodes into season 6. We sure are.
We're doing it.
What did you think, Evan, of this episode?
I like it. I just have so much fun in season 6. And then, I don't know, like, especially with, like, Fiona and Sean, I feel like this is like a really big start of like the growth of their relationship, which is like really, really nice. But then it takes like a really pivotal turn, which I'm not sad for.
Like, I know it's gonna hurt me because I like him so much.
You're talking about Carl and Dominique, or Nick? Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
I
that
can't
the
even
Sean
talk
of it
about
all
it.
is gonna hurt me. You guys are making me real nervous about Nick. I'm so nervous now. What do you mean? What I'm the Jennifer
I
want to
look up what episode it's in.
It's either, because Amanda, by me texting you, if my timeline's right, it's 2 episodes, so that either happens on 6/6, I think, because then by 6/7, I'm just trying to remind Lena what happens with the house.
Yeah. I got that. So it must be 2. It must be 2 episodes, because I think next episode is
them trying to get is that.
Well,
so
and it's also like
they get evicted next episode, and then the episode after that is them dealing with everything, and then the next episode after that is when
is the aftermath of what happens in the next one. Yes, you're correct.
Crazy times. But
we
that's
don't
it.
hate
We did
Nick.
it.
We feel for him.
I know. I'm now nervous. I'm so
Well,
nervous.
actually, didn't he say that Nick went to juvie because he killed his dad for the bike?
He killed his dad because I think
they've said that
he like beat on his mom. Oh, I think he beat on his mom and he killed his
that
dad.
too. Yeah, it was also definitely that. What the hell? Nick's on Evildoer Wiki. He's on Villains Wiki.
No.
I mean, he's complicated.
He's just a little
like
guy.
yes,
who wanted
you're
his
like yes
bike.
by all intents and purposes of the law, he's a bad guy. But it was devastating. Actually devastating.
Well, on that note, I am excited to see Carl go like kind of nuts in the next episode, and like I wonder if Fiona will just let him, because like what the fuck do they have to lose? I'm excited. I'm excited to see the rest of this season.
I think this season is a fun, unpredictable season, right, Lena? Like, I feel like everything which way you think is gonna happen, it like goes the complete opposite way, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
this
crazy.
season is one of the more melodramatic. Like it takes a lot of big jumps.
I really like the beginning of season 7.
Me too.
It's
I
don't know how this season ends.
Well, because the finale of this one is crazy.
It's crazy. So then the opening scene for season 7,
that opening
is even
scene,
cool.
banger.
It's so dope. I
Banger.
rewatch it. It's so dope. Lena, you're gonna really appreciate
good to
it.
know.
It's like the
I've
opening
already
scene
seen
of
it.
season 7.
Yeah, the first scene of season 7, banger.
Banger. My
Good to
favorite
know,
one is the Lena, just the with the that one.
Oh yeah, well, because it's like you did it. You broke all the kids down to their most basic parts, like to their most basic roles.
So good.
Me, this entire like the next 3 seasons is just the Jennifer Lawrence meme from Hot Ones. What do you mean?
I know.
What do you mean?
Me and Lena secretly texting each other each episode to try to remind each other of what the fuck we're talking about.
Because this show
I'm
is
watching-
so goddamn long. It's like a soap opera.
Crazy.
Watching your eyes like dart at each other going, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway, until next time, everybody. We took 2 fucking weeks in the making and many, many months from when we recorded episode 1 of this. We're only 4 episodes in. We recorded the first episode of this season in July, guys.
Happy November.
Happy November.
Happy Turkey Lurkey Day.
Turkey time.
Everybody go buy your Christmas presents, but not from places that we're going to boycott. Please and thank you. Anyway, that feels like we're wrapping it up, and we're going to see you guys next time that we're around these parts.
You know our handles. You can find us on the gram.
At this point, we're doing it for us and the 4 people that we know that commented that they were waiting for us.
Look
And
up the
my
look
younger
we had.
brother,
You'll
I
find
guess.
us. Yeah.
Hi, Lena's brother.
Hey,
Shout out,
brother.
special shout out.
All right, you guys ready? I'm ready.
Ready
Let's
to
wrap it
skedaddle.
up. Until next time,
All
let's
right.
get on out of here. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.